Hey, peace to everybody that's watching. This is your brother Garfield, and we're gonna be touching on Zion's book. Part two is chapter two. This book right here, Came on Trial. See the chapters. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the chapter two is on the Falcon tribe, and this stuff is just amusing, family, just amusing. I'm gonna hold on. I didn't even share my screen. Let me share my screen for a second here. Let me just share my screen so everyone. Yeah, so let me just share my screen real quickly here. All right. How do I do this? Oh. I don't need to present. I already got it. So this is the book that we're reviewing today. And this is the chapters. Dynastic Race Theory and the Falcon Tribe. All right. We're going to touch on the Falcon Tribe a little bit because you know what? He's watching and preparing because eventually we're going to sit down or have a debate. And, truth be told, people always find themselves in situations that they don't want to. All right. So let me just throw this out so people know that we're live. I'm going to put the we're going to put this what do you call it? Let me send a link so that people could watch the show because I didn't really put it out there that I'm having a show today, but I'm going to put it out now so people could join the show and see what's going on. All right. Zion Lexx book, Plagiarism or Not, Part 2. All right. Let people know that this is on. All right. So, we on right now. I just want everybody to know that we're on live and, we're going to touch on this book for a minute and let people know, it's sad. We're in a state where people just want to violate people's stuff, and feel like, hey, I want to flag people, flagging people's pages to get them shut down and all type of shit, but we're gonna handle this right now. I just got off the show with Baba TV. Did a beautiful show on the Rastafarian movement. For those who are not aware of it, check out Baba TV. I did a part 2 that was very enlightening, and I want people to understand that the information that we put out is for educational purposes. We're not trying to cause no problems with anybody. We're just doing what we need to do as a people. All right. All right. So part 2, this is what I'm going to do for part 2, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to touch on much because I know what plagiarism is. And he's trying to play a game with people and try to be very dishonest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on a few little points because the brother keeps saying that I'm running from him, which is very funny because there's no reason to run from someone who basically just embarrassed himself by writing this book. And I want people to understand something carefully here, that I don't have nothing against anybody. I remember I came at Ishmael Bey while he was in the Amin-Ra squad. And nobody said at that time that, hey, Garfield, you're wrong or whatever. You know, you just don't like Ishmael. Nobody said that. The truth of the matter is we have to be very careful in information that we're putting out and try to make people aware that, hey, this is going on in your community. And if you want to be involved, you be involved. If you don't want to be involved in what Garfield is talking about, well, hey, just don't be involved. You know, we are people who are very hard headed, and sometimes we hold to truth, and that is not really truth. You know what I'm saying? So if people don't understand, and you know, I had a conversation with a brother who supports Zion, and you know, it's hurtful because when truth hits you hard, you're like, damn, he did that. Nobody wants to admit that he did that. So I'm just saying to everybody out there, man, just pay attention and know that when Garfield puts information out, it's not fake. You know what I'm saying? I'll put information out to let people know what's going on.
Are you live?
Yes, sir. I'm live, my brother.
Oh, well, oh, good morning. Get my TV voice. Good morning.
Yeah, I just started the show. It was just on Baba TV. I kind of lost my voice, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing
Yeah.
great.
What you working on? Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, just give me a second, Garfield. Keep talking now.
All right, cool.
Give me a second.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna so ladies and gentlemen out there, what we're doing right now is we're basically I want to talk about something before we even get into that. A lot of people, they flagging people's channels so that they don't have information to put out. And I think that we have to be responsible as humans, because even if you disagree with somebody, you have to put yourself in a position where you say, you know what, I wouldn't do that. That's just grimy. And people are flagging people's, there's so much information on people's channels. When you flag their channel and you decide that that person should have this on again or whatever, I mean, it's just crazy. But what I'm gonna do is let me see right here. I'm gonna put up something on the screen so that people see what we're talking about, because we got to look at his book. We got to take a look at his book again. I know my brothers not really want to talk about that, but let me just touch on this book here. My brother Meru did a great job. Let me share my screen. Thumbs up. I don't really want to give away too much because I do want to debate the brother. And peace, Meru. What's going on, brother?
Hey.
All right. So this is his book. You know, the chapter, Dynastic Race Theory. Let's go to chapter 2. So we have the Falcon tribe, and you know, he uses David Roll here as a reference, the first reference in his book, and we know where he got that from. Also, he didn't get that from the book, but he got it from a website. He talks about the Nakada 2 dig, which again was the Asiatic Mesopotamia findings in Egypt, shows a much more culturally advanced people. This led to the development of what Flinders Petrie called the dynastic race theory. Where did you get that from? So I'm just going to touch on some basic plagiarism here. A theory based in archaeological findings which indicated in pre-dynastic Egypt there was an invasion of a superior group of Asiatics who conquered pre-dynastic Egypt, who came by way of Mesopotamia. These invaders conquered Upper Egypt and established a city they called Nekhen, which literally means Falcon tribe. Let me ask Meru a question. Meru, how you doing, brother? I think Meru is busy. All right. The first known king of Egypt is depicted with a mace in hand. They carved paintings, show these boats. Da 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 da. Ah, boy, I don't even know if I want to even go into this today, man. I'm just not even in the mood. You know, it's amazing how people. If you ever ask anyone who studies Sumerian, look at this here. A relief from Ashurbanipal's II's palace at Nimrod of a winged genius with an eagle's head. It is also referred to as Ayamasu, Shedu, and Kuribu. Where did he get this from? Where did he get this statement right here from? You know what? Too. Let me do an image search on this quote right here, just to show the audience what this guy does. Let me see if I could find where he got this from. Let's go to images, image search, put it in here. Let's see what comes up. Okay. So it actually might be an original statement. Wow. Okay. All right. So he probably got it from somewhere. We can't find it. But most of the stuff this guy comes up with, man, is just copied or taken from somewhere. All right. All right. Let's go back to this page here. All right. The depiction of a falcon god, which was first discovered. You hear what he says? This depiction of a falcon god, which was first discovered in Sumeria. Let me do a screenshot of this right here. This falcon god that he said. Let's do a screenshot real quickly here. And let's look at where he got this from. Ladies and gentlemen, you see my point? Look at this. Look at what came up. Look at what came up. When we do an image search of this, look what comes up. Extraterrestrial races. Is these the sources that scholars use? Best guess for this image, Nordic aliens. Wow. Is this the best you can do? Is this the best you can do, my brother? So we will go to one of the websites, Metaphysical, Esoteric, Spiritual. It talks about all these races and show all these pictures. Oh my God, this is just crazy. Wow. Scholarship. See it right here? Again, we have a rebel group of Pleiadians who started working with the Syrians, or more specifically Prince Ea, Enki. They are giants, often referred to as bird people. Wow. Let's look what another source says. Let me go to page 2. See what page 2 has. So Mesopotamia slide shear. Let's look at the Mesopotamia slide shear. Okay, that didn't come up. But look at all of this right here. Setkin from Mesopotamia. Ancient Mesopotamia. Okay. So this is the website. Look at this. Okay. So Mesopotamia. So this comes from Mesopotamia. This is Misrach. So that's where the picture is. The only place where it's a blog spot in Mesopotamia. But most of everybody's posting that it's aliens. All right. Let's look at what do you call it? Let's take a look here, the rest of the book. This representation of the pineal gland as a pine cone is found throughout the ancient world. Thus, all of the images which are currently circulating on the internet of the Eye of Horus as a pineal gland is actually a misnomer. For the first civilization documented as speaking about the pineal gland is the Sumerians. Now, I'm going to ask a question, ladies and gentlemen. Where in this world, this is fiction of a falcon which was first discovered in Sumeria, its place of origin and is later reproduced in ancient Egypt as Egyptian deity Horus. The Sumerians were speaking of the pineal gland or the third eye long before they introduced it in Kemet. The very shape of the pineal gland itself literally resembles a pine cone. Wow. Wow, this is knowledge? What is this? Let me look at this picture now. Where he got this picture from. Because he don't want to tell us where he gets his information. So we got to do an image search. Let's do another image search here. Okay, let's see what we find. Mesopotamia. 1,000 images about Semitic times and da 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 da. Let me see what they have here. Images tagged with Asar on Instagram. Images tagged with Norm on Instagram. So we don't have no scholarship on this. It's just basically people with pictures. Best guess for this picture. All right. Meru, you there, my brother? All right, visit the page. Where you got this image from, Zion? Where did you get this picture from? Wow. Damn. All right, let's move on. Let's move back to this book. I can't find this picture. The image on the left is the Falcon god as it appears in Sumerian. The image on the right is a much later Egyptian carbon copy. Wow. Okay. All right. As seen above, the Sumerians were depicted in art as personifications or divine incarnations of the Falcon god of Sumerian, which is later mimicked in ancient Egypt. All right. I'm not going to put out too much information because what I realized though with this dude is that if you got this information from somewhere, why are you scared to tell us where you got it from? And this is very interesting. Let's take a look at this right here. Here's another image he uses. Don't laugh, people. Don't laugh. Look at the websites he gets these pictures from. The 12th planet, the Illuminati, no scholarship, UFO, ancient UFO, the lost Anunnaki. So this guy is basically getting information from Zachariah Sitchin then. So he can't laugh at Dr. York. The 12th planet, Zachariah Sitchin, and his website. Oh my God, I can't, yo. I can't. Illuminati WordPress. Wow. Ecuador, Mesopotamia. This is just so laughable as a book. People say I'm hating. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3 images. 4. Falcon. Okay. We have the Gebel Arat knife. We have this boat right here, this boat scene. And I'm going to see where he got this from. And the reason why I'm going to check that, because I have an idea where he got it from, but let me see where he actually got the picture from. Because he's not a researcher, he's a Googler. Okay. Well, they did accuse Nazi for using this side. Cylinder Seals Khan Academy. Okay. Khan Academy is very educational. Let me see what we find here. Okay. Well, it's not here. Huh. Interesting. Hold on there. Let's look what he has here. Here. art. All right, so it's not there. Okay. Okay. Cylinder seals. So he didn't get it from there. But this is the educational website, so that would be good if you actually got it from there. All right, so this website has Sumerian seals. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but these cylinder seals use Egyptian materials to make them. These cylinder seals, they're extremely small. So the ones that you use to roll and to put on the walls. So this is what it's done. If it wasn't for Egypt, they wouldn't have cylinder seals. Just for the record. All right, let me see what they have. Yeah, he has this in his book. Let's see what else he has. All right, so it's not on this website either. So where did he get it from? Very interesting. Let's look on this website. Not there. Ooh, well, here we go. Okay. Okay. So this is Semitic Akkadian, which came into play like way after. Okay. 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 From Adam to, so this is a Uruk cylinder. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So what does this prove though? I don't get that. What does this prove? Across the deserts of Egypt, they find this from Mesopotamia. By the way, there's no records that Mesopotamia actually went to Egypt directly. There's no evidence of this. So where's he getting this information from? All right, let me stop sharing on his book for a minute. Oh boy, I tell you, I gotta go over this crap, man. I tell you. All right, peace and love, Monica. How you doing?
Hey, peace, Garfield, Danny, Miru. Hey.
All right, so how you doing, by the way? We haven't talked all weekend. We haven't talked from Wednesday, actually. What's going on with you?
I've been hanging out in the boot. I'm in Louisiana. I'm getting ready to travel back to SC now. So
What are you doing in Louisiana, by the way?
Mardi Gras time.
But you went there with your boo?
No.
So why not? Why not? He's not into that stuff?
You always start trouble.
Yep.
I came with family. I'm just listening. I'm traveling back. I'm about to.
Oh, you driving back?
Again, so.
You driving back?
Yes. Yeah, I drove.
Wow, you drive a lot.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I like.
How about me and you drive to Africa one day now? What's up with that?
Let's go. I don't know how we're gonna drive there, but I like driving.
Brazil is trying to make a highway that could drive to the U.S.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to be the first to take the trip. Yeah. Yep. What y'all got going on?
All right,
what's
cool.
Up, Danny, Meru?
Yep. Hey, Meru, what's going on, brother?
Hello.
Danny's like, hello. Danny, you're too much, bro.
Y'all do realize it's still Black History Month, right?
Yeah.
All right. I just want you to know that.
I'm here.
So what?
It's your world. Enlighten us on some new stuff.
I don't know. What you want to know? We did everything. We just forgot, I think. We got a collective memory lapse. Oh, man.
Tell us about your program you working on that you got.
Well, I'm working on a program currently with I'll just say a major library to get access to their archives that they have on Black people in America, Portuguese. Yeah. Particularly all the free Black people in America dating back to the 1600s. I think most of us know about when we were slaves, but not many of us know about when we were free and what we did. So that's part of the project I'm working on currently. And I will share the archives and the information with the people as I get it. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen real quickly. We're gonna talk about some Black folks right now, but I want to share my screen and show something real quickly. Basic Google. All right, everybody Google Nubian architecture real quickly. All right, and I want to show my screen. It says Nubian architecture is diverse and ancient. Permanent villages have been found in Nubia, which date from 6000 BC. Now, 6000 BC is around the time that people started to go inside of where's called Mesopotamia Minor, which is called Sumer. Okay, around that time period, it was a swamp. Okay, these villages were roughly contemporary with the walled town of Jericho in Palestine. Now, this is 6000 BC, right? The earliest Nubian architecture used perishable materials, wattle and daub, and mud brick. Now, what do you use to build your items in Mesopotamia, in Sumer? Don't you use mud brick? Weren't the people in Sudan part of the Niger Congo type of thingy? And other lights and supple materials. Early Nubian architecture consisted of steel structures derived from carving of rock. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there for now. Okay, I want to touch on something else. New York Times article. History. Oh, let me share my screen again. History did not begin in Mesopotamia. This is from the New York Times. The endangered list in Gulf and archaeology assert that ancient Mesopotamia, which spanned the territory encompassing much of present-day Iraq, produced the first writing and earliest experiments in agriculture. You also credit the valley of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Iraq as a place where historically time began. Early writing systems have long been known to have developed in the Nile Valley in India and other parts of South Africa before writing codification as cuneiform in Mesopotamia by the early Sumerians, who were designated later in Assyrio-Babylonian inscriptions as the blackheads or black-faced people. Sir Henry William Rawlinson is said to have traced the Sumerians back to Egypt and Ethiopia. As for agriculture research by the botanist George P. Murdoch and others, was reported more than 30 years ago to have constituted persuasive evidence that the Mande peoples, West African Negroes, independently invented a system of agriculture between 6500 and 5000 BC. About the same time, crops were being first tilled in the Middle East. Other scholars have postulated the development of agriculture even earlier, up to 9000 or 10,000 BC in East Africa, where it is believed humankind itself first walked the earth. I too was taught in school that history began at the juncture of the Tigris and the Euphrates. I was taught nothing about the great civilizations Africans and Asians built along the emergence of Europe. I was unaware that Africans and Asians are not minorities, but together with other people of the color, comprise close to 4/5 of the world's population. All right. So this was a response to an article in about Mesopotamia being first. All right. Let me touch on this a little bit here about some Black history here. Sonia Zarkowski talks about the variation in ancient Egyptian statue and body proportions. Where it pretty much talks about what they look like, the bodies, and something that Sarkid also touches on. Pretty much the people there were Africans, and they developed from Africans and ancient Africans before them. So anybody saying that the people in Egypt were mixed, yes, people in Egypt were mixed, but the evidence shows the skeletal remains, all the evidence. If you look at our work, these people were Africanoid. These people come from Africa. They come from other Africans. All right, they come from other Africans in the Nile Valley. Whoever is going around saying that the Black folks who made naphtha playa were Asiatics is a liar. He's a liar. And I repeat that. Those people come from the Sudanese people who came in because naphtha is at the border. How could Asians come all the way to the edge of the border of Egypt and the Sudan just to say, here, well, yeah, we the ones that started naphtha because we're some special people. So let us do it. But this article, if anybody wants the article, just hit me up in my inbox and I'll send this to you. It basically, this is the white scholarship. If you want the Black scholarship, you can go to Soy Keita and others. All right, but a beautiful book to buy. The lady that debated our brother John Henry Clark. What's her name?
Mary Lefkowitz.
Mary Lefkowitz came out with one of the best books ever. Yeah, as Danny or Maru said, I don't know if she found Jesus or something, but she definitely put some work in.
She found Jesus.
She must have found Jesus. Oh my God.
No, she found John. That's what she found.
She found John.
John Henry Clark. But this is another article about different scenes that they have. The sources for
who's saying naphtha playa was Asians, man?
You know
who's this nut?
You know who? James Cassell.
Oh, okay. You show me your naphtha playa over there in Asia. Because ours over here in Africa.
See, that's
me yours. I'll show you mine.
That's the problem with a lot of us, man. We don't like to be corrected, and we like to tell a lot of nonsense and lies.
All I need is the book of damn common sense. You ain't got none. We got one. How you doing?
Hey,
how you doing?
And by the way, any boats that you see this picture of the boat that I'm showing on the screen from last week? Oh, I'm on the wrong YouTube channel.
James who?
Yeah. And by the way, James Cassell, you see that 1622 views in 6 days. You see that, James Cassell? If you could get that in 10 months, let me know. All right, so this is part one. A brother just asked me, what is my source for the Sumerian swamp? Oh, I didn't even need to go to this. I should just go to my notes. Got everything in my notes. RFE records everything. Sumerian swamps. If you want to know about the swamps and everything, there's PDFs. There's the Penn Museum. Hold on, let me see if this one has it.
You find a Sumerian shoe yet? A bunch of muddy feet, people walking around in wool drawers. Nobody ever heard of.
Settlement patterns and land use have been shown by archaeological surface survey to have been tied to shifting water courses, problems of salinization, depletion of land, and movements of population. Remains of villages, towns, and cities lie alongside half-buried ancient canals in the middle of the desert. What do you call it? So That's part of the evidence. Let me show you something else. All right, this is a PDF that goes into the swamps and all that stuff.
Just look at it now.
I got so much information, man.
History. What's the name of those houses they make? Mud. They don't make them out of no mud brick. They make them out of sticks.
Look right here. Sumerian agriculture and land management. Sumerian world. This chapter
they call it a mud hib.
Hold on. On the agriculture.
You know what I'm talking about, Garfield?
Hold on 1 second. This chapter focuses on the agricultural landscape and the administration of fields, as well as agricultural procedures and production in the late 3rd millennium. In particular, in the period of the 3rd dynasty of Ur. Other important forms of subsistence, such as pastoralism or horticulture, were organized and structured very different in ancient Sumer and will not be considered here. Because basically, if you let me see if this came up yet. Did this come up yet? Nope, didn't come up yet. Let's take a look at this here.
You don't know what a mud hib is, or how you say it?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Garfield, they build in them swamps.
Hold on.
Like 1,000 sticks thrown together. Come on, all that information over there.
All right, right here. If you look at this website, it's called the custody2000.org, the city-states in Mesopotamia. It talks about the environmental challenges. People first began to settle and farm the flat, swampy land in southern Mesopotamia before 4500 BC, around 3300 BC. The people called the Sumerians, whom you read about in chapter 1, arrived on the scene. So let's be clear here. If this is saying, if this is correct, they're talking about early river civilization, the Sumerians came there. So if the Sumerians came there, they came from somewhere else. And they're saying the Sumerians arrived 3300 BCE. So that anybody you talk about before that time period, or even 4000 BC, you're not talking about Sumerians, because the Sumerians came there. If they came with the so-called Niger-Congo language, dialect, or language, or whatever they had, it's not Semitic. This is what kills Zion Lexx's argument. Sumerian language is not a Semitic language. It's not a Semitic language. So it had nothing to do with Hebrew. So his whole thing about going back to Sumer makes no sense. These people are not connected to Semitic people. What the Akkadians did is they stole the material, developed their own language, and mixed some of it with the Sumerian language. That's what they did. But their language was a Semitic language. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this right here. When they arrived on the scene, good soil was the advantage that attracted these settlers. However, there were three disadvantages to their new environment. Unpredictable flooding, combined with a period of little or no rain, the land sometimes became almost a desert. With no natural barriers protection, a Sumerian village was nearly defenseless. The natural resources of Sumer were limited. Building materials and other necessary items were scarce. So me saying it's a swamp, I'm telling you, they had too many canals and water coming in. You couldn't do anything.
You again.
Go ahead,
do you know what a mud hif is? A mud hif.
No, my brother.
M-U-D-H-I-F. Go ahead, Google that real quick. M-U-D-H-I-F.
M-U-D, same one word?
Yes. M-U-D-H-I-F. I'll give you images so you can see these things.
A mud hif is a traditional reed house made by the Madan people, also known as March Arabs, in the swamps.
There you are.
of southern Iraq.
And a mudif.
In the traditional Malian way of living, houses are constructed from reeds harvested from the marshes where they live. A mudif is a large communal house paid for and maintained by a local chief for use by guests as a gathering place for weddings, etc. The buildings are constructed with bundled and wooden weave. Wow. But this ties in,
this is what they're still into this
article here.
very day.
This PDF, the swamps of home, on the early. So this goes into how they
Google Sumerian
water.
If you look at Sumerian house, that's what they're going to show you, a mudif. Not no bricks. Of course, them structures didn't last. You was building like huts, houses, basically. Okay.
All right. Cool.
To this very day, they're still building them. This is the stuff you'll see on David Roll's website.
All right.
That's what people in swamps live in, Garfield.
All right, hold on 1 second here. Let me find this. I got so much articles, man. This is your favorite right here, isn't it?
Which one?
Hold on, this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
He said he got this out of Jeremy Black's book.
Yeah, we know. Misattributing information, just thought nobody was going to check you. Lying about dates. He's just everything. Do you tell the truth? Ever? I'm lying Zion.
Lion Lexx.
Lion Lexx.
All right, let's
doing the running man.
Hold on 1 second. Let me find this article.
Oh, hi, Monica. Hi, Cheryl. My bad.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Cheryl?
Hey. What's going on, Danny?
Good day.
Hey,
Day
Danny,
to you,
let me
brother.
ask you a question, man. Give us a give me 2 minutes. Give me a Black History moment right now, man, with the truth story, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, I'm gonna give you one, but first of all, I appreciate you guys' in-depth study and investigation on this African history, but I have a little issue. And my issue is none of you Negroes have answered my one question yet.
Uh-oh.
So I understand you got, Kemetic language and lingua franca and all the stuff you get, but I'll ask this, and I'll ask this to the audience as well, because maybe this could clear all of this stuff up. And Maru, my question is, who built the Sphinx?
Technically, never built. It was carved out of solid limestone.
Thank you. When was that?
Oh, I didn't say when, sir.
Okay, thank you. And now, so let me ask you a question.
I obfuscated.
Brother, no, not you, Maru.
Sir.
Not you, Maru. This is brother Garfield, because he's got mud houses and 4,500 and life starting in 6,400 and all that stuff. Brother Garfield, would you happen to know who built that thing?
Who built what? The Sphinx?
Yes.
I mean, Native Egyptians.
Oh man. Okay.
I would say Native Egyptians because who basically came from the south, and I'm going to tell you why. If you look at if you look at the reconstruction of Afud 23, if you look at the slabs that they created at Napta, you see that the people, if you look at what's his name work, Walker, what's that guy's name? Robin Walker's work. He breaks down, and I wish I could find it for you right now. I could find that for you right now, boy.
That sounds very cool and everything. Who built the damn thing? Let's just cut to the chase.
It's the native people.
Oh, the natives. That's what you're going with?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
old.
so
So
so when
why?
did they
Mhm.
hold on? When did these native people build this?
I mean,
It's
over
when then.
years, centuries, years, bro. It couldn't be the 1, 2, 3 thing, because if it's a 1, 2, 3 thing, we would laugh,
Mm.
because
So so
there's nobody
so
building.
outside of Maru, outside of
Sir,
Maru, and I'm sure there's others, but I have heard everybody say that Narmer built this, correct? Or has something to do with this, correct?
no, I would, as far as Egyptian history would, clarify for us.
Right. Aliens.
Aliens,
Oh, so
definitely
Pharaoh
aliens.
is right.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, so here goes something real quick, and then everybody could Google it at home as I say it, because I'm about to say something that may be seem insane. But ready, Garfield? 2 minutes.
Go ahead, brother.
The first resident of New York City was a black man. The first one.
Hold on. Repeat that, brother.
The first resident
First
of New
resident. Okay. I
of
said
New
first.
York City
Your
was a
accent
black
wasn't
man.
working. Okay.
Okay, that's one. And two is the first resident of Delaware was a black man.
What's their names? Can you tell us their names?
Yes. The first resident of New York City is a man named Juan Rodriguez.
Okay.
All right. This is
All right.
1614. You know what I said?
You heard 16,
1614.
16, 14.
14. All right. The first person, the reason that there is a New York City is because of a black man who was a fur trader and an arms dealer. And I want everybody to look at me or sound or hear my voice and think I'm crazy. All right? You heard what I said.
Did he sell? Did he sell legs too, Danny?
He was a fur dealer. No, legs were done in Cuba.
Oh.
And an arms.
Firearms.
He sold weaponry. He sold
Weaponry.
weaponry to the Lenape Native Americans for fur. Okay?
I knew you were
He
going to
was a
slip a
free
word.
he was a free man. All right? I want to emphasize that again. He was a free man. How do we know this? Because in the Dutch transcripts, you will find a court case dealing with him, because when he was brought there as what they call supercargo, or he had a special skill when they picked him up in Haiti, right? And he had a fight with the ship captain, because the ship captain was going to go to the Netherlands to take the furs, and he wasn't trying to go to the Netherlands. He fight literally and told him basically that he would kill everybody on the boat if they didn't let him off. They let him off, obviously, and Juan Rodriguez became the first resident of New York City. That's one. Look up the name, you'll see it. Second, I told you that the first resident of Delaware was a black man. His name was Black Anthony, or Anthony Swart. And this is around 1638. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He also came with another company, but it wasn't the Dutch West India Company. It was another one, the Swedish West India Company. And they came down, and when they first got there, they got attacked by another branch of Lenape Indians, and they killed almost all of them. He was around. So when they made the second voyage, they saw him. And then he became so well known in the region that when the first settlers came to the region, he was the person that greeted them. He was also a free man. So I need somebody to tell me how two free Africans in the 1600s, early 1600s, did these things and we were never taught it. Go. And I hope, besides Maru, somebody is Googling your names. This is not a fantastic story. This is on the historical books. And this was in the 1600s, which is roughly 500 years ago. And a lot of times we find ourselves getting trapped into finding the minutiae of details into something 500,000 years ago. And we can't figure out some of the riddles from 500 years ago. Right? So when Carter G. Woodson did this Negro history thing, it was to give you exposure to what was happening with our history in Africa, but primarily to show you all of these things that we were doing in the Americas, during this experience outside of singing, you know, we shall overcome on a boat, or Kumbaya. So in my opinion, we need to do some real serious investigation with the same energy that we use to find out something 50,000 years ago, which is great, and put some of it to study something 500 years ago, because you may be able to open up some of the answers that you're looking for 50,000 years ago. That's it.
Okay. Built the Sphinx.
Juan Rodriguez built the Sphinx, and Black Anthony built the Great Pyramid.
Hey, wait, we can get it all together, baby.
And this is where, these are the states in where we live. We are residing right now for the most part. Start where you stand and start digging into right where you are. Pick up a shovel and dig right where you are. You'll be surprised at what you find. You want to dig to China, and we, you know, put a shovel on the ground. You have to dig, see what's right there. So, Garfield, you found who built the Sphinx yet? That's what I thought.
Secret to PDF to you later that I compiled from Wiki on this very.
Yeah. What else we want, Garfield?
All right. Hold on, puppy. All right. So we have we talking about Juan Rodriguez. Somebody put a question sign why his name is Rodriguez. The name is Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So then that's a great question. The name is Rodriguez. This is the key that they didn't teach us in history class. And I stumbled across this, honestly, maybe 5 years ago, and just doing a lot of the research. But the problem is, well, we can't find ourselves in the historical record, because when we see a Spanish sounding name, the automatic assumption is that those are people from Spain or Portugal or something like that, right? The key to why his name is Juan Rodriguez is the same to why some of our names are John Smith or Tom Brown or whatever. And that is, at the time, the most popular, powerful powers in the world were Iberians, or the people of Spain and Portugal. So you're going to see that most people have an Iberian version of their name. His name was also Jan Rodriguez when the Dutch, he worked for the Dutch, so they changed it from Juan to Jan. So he's named those things because his mother was African and his father was a Dutch, what do you call it? Like sailor, right? So when you look in the books, you're gonna find a lot of even the early Africans. They have Iberian names, but they're not necessarily mixed or whatever. These are because the popular names in the world at the time are names like Juan Rodriguez and this, that, and the other. So when they go back and look at the history books and they say, John Smith did this on Brother Garfield's show in 2017, how will you know if John Smith was a black man, a white man, or whatever? Right? You see what I'm saying? The reason why, because English names are the most popular names or the most popular sign names in the world. So we get these English names. That's why his name was Juan Rodriguez. He grew up in Hispaniola, and he was of that Iberian culture, right? So when you look at another guy's name is Matthew da Costa. He was from Benin, but because that Iberian culture was also in a lot of part of West Africa, which they call Luso, L-U-S-O, African, you'll see those type of names. That's why. You heard me, Garfield?
Yeah, we heard you, Danny.
All right. So, even if you go back further to Grenada, right, in I think the early 15s, you can look it up right now. It's a dude named Juan Latino. Look it up. Juan Latino is a black man who was a professor in the schools in Europe. But when we look over in the records and we see these names, we're like, whatever, the Spanish is only keep moving. You see how we missed out on the story? This is what tripped us up. We got to dig deeper and be like, okay, just because we see a Spanish name or a Dutch name or whoever, who were these people? And then it's not so crazy when you see it, the name, his name was Julio Jones, the boxer was, Julio Caesar Green. Hell, Garfield do rant. I'll keep talking now.
I thought that was a good explanation.
No. Keep talking. I'm here looking at something real quickly. I'm dealing with my son and other stuff. Well, go ahead. Continue.
For marsh Arabs. The mud house got him messed up, Danny.
Yeah, but that's just a little tip. When you're doing your research or whatever, just don't make that assumption that these people are some Europeans and that's it.
I did that with the slave trade. I was trying to hunt down all these names, Gomez and Aaron, and what I mean. I was like,
all right. So what points that? Okay, that's great. It's great. What points that out? If people out there have secret relationship between blacks and Jews, and then you look at how he's trying to show you who the Jews are. Look what their names are. Gomez, Rodriguez, all these names. If you were looking for whatever, if you were looking for shipmen,
how are these Jewish people? You know what I mean? And it made so when you're talking about this and these African identities, I can be really sympathetic because I had to go through that when I looked at who these ancient slave traders were. You know what I mean?
Right. So when we look at these Gomez's and look at secret relationship, you see all these things. If you don't understand the history, you're like, well, how are these guys Jews? What does that have to do with anything? But if you understand about Portuguese Jews and how they're linked in these things, and then you understand the naming conventions, you see now when you look at secret relationship again, if people out there have it, why all these names sound Spanish? But he's telling you they're Jews.
Or Portuguese.
Sephardic Jews.
Yeah. They were the people in power at that time.
Mm-hmm. And then early on in the Americas, because of what they did in Brazil, they get kicked out of Brazil in 1654 or whatever, and this is when you start to see them in America, especially New York and a couple other places. That's when they come. Because they get kicked out of Brazil because they're getting all of the money because they have the hookups in West Africa as well as in Europe for the slaves and the markets to sell the sugar to. That's why everybody was in Brazil. Every exploring nation won in Brazil. United States and all this stuff. This was not a prize. This was some afterthought shit. But they get kicked out of there, and then they come here and they begin using their resources in Brazil to trade here. And they get the sugar from Brazil, and they have it processed up in Rhode Island, which was one of the biggest slave ports at the time was in Rhode Island, Providence. And they manufacture
the rum.
They manufacture the rum there, and then they get involved in the business because they sell the rum not only to the Native Americans, but they then sell the rum to the West African rulers and make them become alcoholics. And this is why you also start to see rum being involved in a lot of West African rituals. The rum, and what else do you see? You start to see a cigar. Because what were the industries that they had us in? They had us in tobacco and sugar. So we took that, we syncretized it with our West African religions and used this stuff. And next thing you know, some of the Loas or Papa Legba, I think Man Brigitte or whatever, they have cigars. And also, they make use of the rum for the spirits. So this is all wrapped up in what the Jewish influence had us doing, because they were involved in all arms of the triangular trade. So you're going to see Gomez, this one. You might see a few Levi's and what have you, but for the most part, they're going to be Iberian names.
It's almost exclusively.
Yeah, because they own
their first name would be a giveaway. Like their first name be Abraham Gomez.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah,
so what they do, so how they get into it, and which is important, when they're getting kicked out of, if you look at, I forget the exact map, maybe we could put it up or something like that. If you look at where they're getting kicked out, they're getting kicked out of all countries in Europe due to the Inquisition and other things. But one place that becomes a haven for them, so they go to Holland, and some of them get involved in the early trading companies, and they're still using their resources to, watch this now, to use trade. So they have their hooks still in the Mediterranean, still in North Africa, still in all these places. So they get the resources from there. In particular, they still getting the cola nut from West Africa because it was like a cure-all for these people. And so they're doing all that. And Holland starts to say that they want to become, a big world power, and they have the first, what they saw, World Trade Center. Why? Because the Jews are getting the resources, Jews and others are getting the resources from all over, bringing it to Holland. So now you got all these international things to start trading: China, people, knives, jewels, right? And so Holland, in return, if anybody's been there, this is why they really start to dig out those canals, because they have pirate ships. The pirate ships are going to take all the resources, bring it to the canal real quick, and drop them off, and then go about their business. So what does that do? Now that the Jews are heavily involved in Holland into these early things, what do? The Dutch come here and set up in New York, and then 30 years later, here comes some Jews again, and this is where you have the World Trade Center, and where the Dutch set up in New Netherlands, right, which is really New York. And that's why you have these World Trade Centers in Holland. All right, and then they built the Sphinx. Would that make you happy? God damn. Yeah, so then they know the Sumerians, cousins, and God damn.
You know, I'm saving that Sphinx information for like a showdown. All right.
Can't see the chat.
Not letting that
I want to talk about the
Unless
Sumerians.
Garfield got it on Facebook. Man, he ain't found that word Sumerian in a text in history before 1850 yet. I don't care what they've said since, Danny. I want mention of it. Until then, silence. You show me some ancient culture that ever recognized there was anything over in that swamp. How about them apples? Happen, buddy. And I don't know why the Bible people keep getting let off. The Bible don't say nothing about no damn Sumeria. Not one word. It didn't say Abraham was from there. It said he was from Ur and the Chaldees. Indians in that area until 1000 BC. You're late. You're late. You wrote that stuff late. And when you wrote it, you assumed there was always camels. Because, you know, Abraham mentions camels, Danny, in that area before the 9th century. I mean, for 10th century, 975 BC, approximately. Right. You wrote that stuff late. It's not no ancient history record. Somebody get hurt in theology school or something? Ooh, I just call it like I see it, sir. The Bible, and Kush means Ethiopia. No, you better update your scholarship. It means Kush in India, Hindu Kush. No black people that migrated up into no swamp out of Africa and created Mesopotamia. It wasn't coloreds. They didn't speak no Niger Congo. You can just save that argument too. Cut it out. Cut it out. Just let different cultures have developed independently, and it'll be that, right? Ain't no black man walking around no wool drawers without a shoe on. Sorry. But anyway, that's just another story.
Yeah.
What's the consensus? Okay, Danny?
Consensus.
Listen, I like that even better. Consensus. Because you thought I was going to, for that line of horse. Hey, as you go, fellas, okay? As long as it's not in Africa. Civilization and, you know, progress and intelligence started anywhere but in Africa. Yeah, okay. Not in black history. Go ahead, Danny.
What I was going to say is, this is what I was showing you earlier, is I think we also make an assumption that this, trying to prove that point and that research only evolved when Dr. Ben came around or Asa Hilliard came around.
Oh, that's a misnomer.
And that's completely off. And I think that we're doing ourselves a disservice because it goes back 100 years before those people, at least.
At least.
When they're having symposiums, debates, lectures on what? On these same topics that we're arguing about today.
Yeah, I heard Garfield saying the Egyptians were mixed with what?
Right. Mixed denotes that there was something, there's two different things. Why is it when it's always dealing with mix that the base is always something black? You ever notice that?
What comes to the conclusion that there's only one phenotype of African peoples. And we know that's just the silliest thing we've ever heard.
People don't
Yes.
people don't call a China and man and a Japanese man mixed, right?
No.
Or when they get to something, say if
A Korean, right?
if you're Indian and Puerto Rican, they'll call you exotic.
If you're Pakistani,
Hold on.
Afghani, or Indian,
Let me clear that part up with the
mixed.
mix with Egypt as a culture. You know, Egypt was like America at one point, where everybody always wanted to come to
Oh
where the
yeah,
greatest
I'd
is.
say that.
America, as much as we disrespect America as Rastas, America is the greatest place for opportunity right now. You know what I'm saying? You have Germany, you have other countries, you have Africa, you have other countries you can go to with opportunities. But America, as a melting point, that's where it is. That's what Egypt was at one point. But when you talk about pre-dynastic Egypt, we didn't really have no trade. Nobody was trading with us coming to Egypt. Egypt would go to Palestine, establish a whole city for themselves, and trade with North Syria. That's obvious. But the issue that they're trying to bring up is that Mesopotamians came in a boat and came to Egypt. There's no evidence of that. Not Nagoso. Not Nagoso. But as far as mix, you always gonna have people from other cultures. Always. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that denotes that there was a change. So there was something there originally. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
If you have a mixture, the only change that we ever saw in Egypt, bro, was as far as when like the 1600s in Egypt, certain things changed.
Hold on.
But
what I'm trying to say,
you saying when I use the word mix, I'm implying that they get credit.
No, I'm not saying any
credit?
implications. What I'm saying is, though, you have an original that has been changed. That's what denotes mixed. We're talking about that this thing had something original first that was co-opted, changed, diluted, whatever the heck word you want to use, but it changed, and that's what denotes mixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't start off, oh, let's just take some mixed people and go here. No. Just like here, prior to the Europeans coming, they had a more homogenous, because they wasn't all the same, but they had a more homogenous culture. We mixed it, right? So in those times, what you're talking about, there wasn't original people there. Yeah, they made it into a center where it could become more cosmopolitan and metropolitan, which made it mix by having exposure to all these different cultures, but there was something there original. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, they always had like outside cultures, but your ass was living up in the swamps in the Delta. You could come in if you had some kind of trade skill. You could work here. You know what I mean? You had to have your papers in order. But all this mixed stuff now, it seemed pretty much monolithic. Centuries. I mean, you know, they had their order. I mean, it wasn't especially. Avarice weren't seem to have been discriminated against, and other kinds of Asiatics, I guess, were in that mix, including your people you call the Hyksos or whatever. Had to get run up out of there when it got a little too uppity. You understand? But yeah, I mean, because you know they're breeding like you know how they say about us, Danny. Damn, ain't good. You know how they are. Yeah, they got a little up out of hand, so they had to get run up out of there. So that didn't change nothing. Visitors here, tighten it up again. Go Trump on them. All set up the borders, put up some more forts, cut off your ways in. I guess that was a constant fight. Migrate to wherever there's resources.
You guys got right. That's where the food is.
And some of them ain't gonna be so nice. They ain't gonna have manners. They gonna want to steal. And we have hundreds of texts mentioning them.
Right.
Asiatics. They were never appreciated people. So that's why I say when I hear all this stuff about Egyptians mixing, come on. Come on, Danny. When was that?
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't look too kindly on outsiders.
Right.
I mean, they understood you was hungry. I'm sure they was human beings, but they had seen over the years what that kind of behavior will get you. All right.
But we're talking about multiple centuries of change for this to happen. In some cases, 1,000 years, right? And we see.
Right. You're talking about relations. 3000 BC. Like what we now call Syria and what is Israel and Canaan, right? The things that the Egyptians could appreciate that were coming out of Asia. Number one, cedar wood, lapis lazuli. What else? What else, Garfield? I mean, what did they have to offer them?
Bruh, as I said before, man, Mesopotamia never did nothing for Egypt of any relevance. There's nothing you can point to that say, hey, they got this from Mesopotamia. If you want to say lapis lazuli, it never came from Mesopotamia. It came from what? Afghanistan. It didn't even come from Mesopotamia. And it was something beautiful.
I'm saying,
lapis lazuli
had to pass through the hands of people that lived in, proximities in between the sources. You know what I'm saying?
But it never came.
So if it got to Syria to be bought by Egyptians, you know what I'm saying? It had to travel from. So I'm sure. Yeah. So there's some exchanging going on, but all that other stuff, nah, the Egyptian stuff was already established, bro.
Yeah, but even that's why we need to get that book that Alan keeps saying, man. We're going to on the month. Today is what, February? For the month of April, we're going to look at the forgeries. If y'all want to still go into Mesopotamia, I'll buy the book, man. I'll buy the book.
Something I've been telling you since I met you. Making this history as you going on, you're doing a disservice to everybody.
This cylinder, brother,
not just black people.
Is so small that the material that makes it comes from Egypt. So if the material comes from Egypt and it's a cylinder that rolls, so if you find a cylinder roll in Egypt, maybe we made it in Egypt and y'all took the shit when we went to Mesopotamia to trade Gara, the gold. They found gold in Mesopotamia that came from Egypt. They found steatite that come from Egypt, the diorite. All these materials come from Egypt. You were a swamp. You could not have raw materials, so you had to get it from northern Mesopotamia, Syria, Palestine. These are the areas you got stuff from Persia. You got stuff from everywhere because you didn't have anything. So for somebody to say that Mesopotamia influenced us, they're saying that the Horus, when Isis hold the baby Horus, that comes from Mesopotamia. I'm like, people are going around teaching this stuff. It's ridiculous. All you got to do is just do a simple Google wiki search and look at the sources and see for yourself. Hathor was not influenced by somebody from Mesopotamia. It is nonsense. Pure
wait, hold on.
Nonsense.
Buffett, you got to do a Google search for that? You don't realize that. Wait, hold on, my brother. Every woman that has a child, how do they hold their baby?
Exactly.
So that means that as long as there's been women having children and feeding them, do they hold them in that manner?
Sort of like. Just like that, Danny. Sit them on the lap.
Only thing in Mesopotamia, the woman didn't wear shoes. So that's all.
Right. So it needs to take an outside or foreign culture to come in to show you how to feed a child. Just curious.
Can I read something for you guys real quickly, man? I just want to
English, not that Jamaican talk.
I want to break down something for the audience. Listen, don't trust none of these people that come to you and say that, hey, we predate Egypt. There's nothing of significance that they can bring that would say, hey, this is the truth. I want to read something for you guys, right? It's the biological and anthropological evidence to show that Egyptians were the people that were living in Egypt, that built anything to do with naphtha playa. Listen to this. Numeral cranial studies have found ancient Egyptian skulls to resemble those of modern Southerly Africans. This from Goudet in 2009 found cranium to particularly resemble those of Sudanese, as did Bernard. Look at Bernard's work. Bernard's work is 1935, and Gooday's work is 2009, and he found came to the same conclusion that the guy in 1935 came to. You know what I'm saying? While Crichton in 1966 discovered a strong similarity between Egyptians and Kenyans, Broad 1976 found Egyptian crania to fit snugly into a cluster with skulls from throughout tropical Africa. Relationships between Upper Egyptians and Sub-Saharan populations are particularly strong by Keita in 1990 and 2005, Vermesh in 2002, and but as Vermesh in 2002 and Hennenberg in 1989, Midnight Rains in 2000. Yo, mute your mic, Alan. Even lower Egyptian crania have sub-Saharan characteristics. To be sure, a couple studies have shown different results, but both of those have fundamentally methodological flaws. Some bioanthropologists have attempted to determine populations' relation using the shape and size of teeth, but this can be risky. Moving away from the cranium to other parts of the skeleton, another type of analysis that can determine population origins is measuring limb proportions. As a general rule, sub-Saharan Africans have proportionately longer limbs than people from other parts of the world. Since long appendages dissipate heat in tropical climates more easily, measurements of ancient Egyptian limbs find them to be similar to those of sub-Saharan Africans, and in fact, some report Egyptian limb proportions to be supernegroid. That is proportionately even longer than those of most Africans. By contrast, Middle Eastern from subtropical desert climates compared to Egypt do not have the Egyptians' African-like limb proportions. This means that the ancient Egyptian ancestors must have migrated from a tropical region further south, such as Sudan, which is consistent with the archaeological data cited earlier. Skeletal morphology is not the only data that must be considered when assessing the Egyptians' biological affinities and physical appearance. For instance, hair form and skin color must also be taken into account. Let me see what else I want to touch on, man. Because
you got to touch on the fact that you got to explain what the hell is a super negroid.
He's just basically saying that the people there are just extra. You know, whatever they describe Egyptians as blacks or Africans, they're just more than what they are. That's what white folks mean extra. That's all.
Super negroid. Huh?
Super negroid. Yep.
Measuring skulls.
That means he's black more than ever.
They're measuring nasal passages and limb proportions. I want a penis count, man. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, they're over average 8 inches. Okay, yeah, they're black.
Super negroid, huh?
That's the super negroid. Yeah, they'll do the penis count, Danny. Measure everything. All right, we're gonna get to that too. All right, here. Yep.
So they wasn't just Egyptians. They wasn't just African. They were super Africans.
Yeah, super Africans. Still trying to do that craniometry crap? I'm gonna measure his skull.
Wow.
That is.
Right. So there was a whole thing, and was it the late 18s? Phrenologists. And yes. Look at your cranium and say whether you had intellect or, you know what I mean, some retardation or something.
Measurements, Danny. They're measuring feet. I'm some aquatic African.
So you left-handed?
Yeah. Because I'm triple E?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I had flippers. I don't know. I think he was in a tertiary stage of primate development. Amphibious, actually.
Yeah, I got a picture for you. Hold on.
Ridiculous. We're measuring our to tell if we're African. Alan.
What's up, man? I'm just trying to see what wave y'all on, man. Trying to see what wave y'all on.
Hey, Garfield, show that picture.
Where's it at,
There you
brother?
go. That picture up on the back. That's that. Look at that song.
We put it in the back chat or we put it in the
Yeah, in the back chat.
The phrenologist. Right away, Danny. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, you can show that to your audience.
So what this build is on? This build is on who the Egyptians were?
No.
We just cut, man. It's good that man came back again, you know.
Oh, man.
Yo, look at this picture right here. I don't know what Danny thinking, man. You know how many people gonna be offended, man? Oh my God.
All right. So now can I tell you the story on that?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
That story, that song is actually performed and done by black people. Okay? And the group was named Williams and Walker, and Burt Williams was probably the biggest black vaudeville actor ever. And he was one of the first black entertainers to make $1 million. The first was Step and Fetch It. But yeah. So they made this song called The Phrenologist Coon because at the time, in the late 1890s, what they were doing was exactly what you're talking about, as they still had this phrenology going on where they was measuring niggas' craniums and all this other stuff to show our intellect or how inferior supposedly black folks were to Europeans. And that's what this song is about. People measuring your head to try to predict or say, you know, your intellect or what you have to offer to the world.
Hey, somebody has a question in the side chat. They said off topic, but can anyone answer this question? Why did the Ouagadougou, and the Ghana/Ghana people convert to Islam?
That sound like James. That sound like James Cassell.
Nah. That's not Coleman.
Oh, that's the monster.
They didn't necessarily convert right off the bat. That took a number of battles that took place. But what happened was the Muslims were gaining more influence because they are bringing in access to more trade, right? So now Ghana, which is in control of the gold, has more outlets toward trade, and this obviously causes some greed or dissension to come in, and Islam starts to take root toward the end. But the key is what Ouagadougou, which is most important, is they have dynasties, I think 20, that predate any influence from Islam. So the foundation of, especially the Ghana Empire, actually exclusively, is not just because they have this Islamic influence and then they become this great power. No, they have that centuries before that that influence comes in. But that's the thing. Now you got, because Europe is now desperate for gold in order to fight back the Moors.
Yeah.
Right. So they got to pay all. They got to pay all their people and do all the stuff. So they want the gold in order to do that.
Yeah. Let me add on to that real quick. To that brother, the Trans-Saharan book trade, and it has the core curriculum of all the manuscripts that they were studying. So in 800 AD and through those times, yeah, all they had was Arabic. They was teaching them Arabic, and they had short history on Muhammad. They did not have a Quran until 1100 AD. So what Islam was they really practicing? Didn't have it.
Well, you see, well, also this is in Golden Trade of the Moors, and in other places you have to look. Is they're not. This was something that the Ouagadougou established. They did not become part of where the center or the municipal parts of the city were. The Muslims, along with some Jews, lived there, but they lived on the outskirts. They did not live in the interior, and I believe it was either Wagadu or one after that had some type of a walled city as well. And then what they would do on trade days or market days is the Muslims and the Jews could then come and do their trade like that. It's only toward the end of Wagadu and the beginnings of definitely Mali with the monsters that Islam really starts to go ham.
Hey, let me ask you a question, right? What is barley? Barley. What is barley?
What do you mean, what is barley?
Yeah. What is barley used for?
What's beer?
Okay.
Wheat and
Barley. Okay. Okay. All right. Hold on a second here. I want to touch on something real quickly here. All right. So I hope the brother was I hope he received that information well. Let me ask you guys this, man. What do you think is one of the hardest things for us as black folks? Because I think we all have a duty to okay, man. What do you think about what is our goal as humans when we come on the earth as black folks? Do you think one of our goals is to basically discover our roots and try to see who we were before we got to this situation? That's what I think one of my roots are. And I don't know if you guys listened to my whole thing on the Rasta resistance. You know, I had to tie it into the BC era, right? I was calling the Israelites Rastas. Oh my God! You know, I'm gonna get some messages in my inbox now. But anyway, what do you guys think our goals as humans when we get on the earth? Seeing that we are in an era where we weren't from originally. Anybody could go first.
What do you mean? Since we were raised in the Americas, you're saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I personally, I think our goal should be what everybody else's goal is: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and procreate to keep it going. Outside of that, a responsibility, I believe, is like you say, to investigate our past, because that's what was always in our cultures. Even if you're not claiming you're West African and you're, some Abrahamic faith, then you're still what? You're still talking about your history. To do what? To extract information in order to live today. So anybody that says something is wrong with that, then you must look at religion as well, because all of the characters in that book are dead. And we still look toward these books as light to try to help us today. So it's the same thing. So why wouldn't you take that? You might be able to gain even more power from learning the history of your own family or your own people. So that's a responsibility, because it's something that is part of our culture. It's not something that's foreign to us to do those things. You had before you had tales and stories that they told and say, oh yeah, you remind me of your great grandma, your great grandfather did this, and so forth and so on. And then we don't have them much anymore, but 80s babies and older remember the damn photo album. And you had a photo album, and auntie or grandma go up there and tell you who all them people was, right? Mm-hmm. And tell you all the stuff that they did. So what's the difference in that? Why you don't think it's special because it's your family, and your grandfather happened to overcome some obstacle to live a good life. It's not as fancy as saying, Mansa Musa or something like that. That's the problem. That history is important. That's it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Alan Rand. But all right, so if that's a goal for you, how do you achieve that goal? What do you do?
Well,
Garfield?
first of all, I mean, I'm different. I'm on a different path. I mean, I'm always, I mean, thinking about what happened in the past, what relates to my culture when I was growing up, and how do I relate to my past before I even got there. But I'm in a position where I can do that. You know, I can always one day travel to Ghana. Not everybody could do that. I could get up and travel tomorrow. Not everybody could do that. So I think one of our goals was to find out where we came from, not in the sense of a God created man, etc., but in the sense of where my roots go back to and who do I relate to, and what did that culture do before being colonized and etc. So that's one of my goals in life, you know, which I'm on the process of doing. One, we do DNA tests, which can point me to an era where people of my genetic makeup possibly came from also, which is West Africa. So I can't relate to Middle East. I can't relate to Europe. I can't relate to Asia. I can't relate to Australia. I only could relate to this area in West Africa within the last 12,000 years or whatever. I could relate there because that's where the people who have my similar genetic makeup because of DNA relate to this area. So now that I know where I'm from, I have to look into the stories that my mom used to tell me, Brother Nancy, Big Boy, all those different stories are related to Africa. Our national dish, ackee and saltfish with breadfruit, related to West Africa again. So I'm saying, okay, all these things that we love to eat and love to do and activities come from West Africa. You know, games that we play, board games, related to West African board games or African games. So those things have been, you know, for lack of a better term, my brother Divine Prospect used social memory. For lack of a better term, I say the social memory brings to us what we used to do when activity, and it's passed down from generation to generation to generation. So although we have this horrific story of being captives and being brought here to this country, we do have a tradition of passing on information orally through either games, through either foods, through either the culture, period, of what we used to do. So that's my goal. That's how I do it. I'm not
Right. So
going back. I'm bear in mind, I'm not going back to find out what God they serve, although I am interested in how they worship. Because in a sense, it brought a rebellious way out of us here. You know, it made us rebellious, resisting, and all those different things. So I want to learn that too, but I also want to learn the intricate details of their daily lives, if it's possible. You know what I'm saying? But that's me.
let me just add on to this. Now, I agree 100% what you say, but there's an intermediate step that I think that we leave out is yes, and I'm the biggest proponent you might find on a study in West Africa. But before we get there, we got a history right here that's going, or Jamaica, or Haiti, or wherever you can come from, that's going to give you and the links. And what I mean by that is we're going to jump to West Africa to try to find out what country or what area we may be from when we're not even sure of our history here. We got so much history in South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, Mississippi, so forth and so on that we have that we just wipe off and kind of leap over in order to say, okay, when did I come here? Where did I come from? When we don't know what we did while we were here. We don't know. We make assumptions that everybody was sitting on the plantation until Abraham Lincoln came around. That's all we know. And we have 4 centuries of information right here that'll tell you the dances that you did, the culture that you had, the food that you had, the John Canoe Festival that's in the Caribbean as well as in the Carolinas, the hoodoo bag that comes from voodoo, that comes from the juju bag, right? The High John the Conqueror that Dr. Clark talked about, and why we had that root, the okra that we have and why it's part of every southern dish, and that comes from West Africa. The way that we sit down to build in a circle, a cipher, whatever you want to call it, that comes from there. All the stuff that we did right here. The fact that we have kings and queens nominated and then every Caribbean and American carnival festival, that's a tradition that comes from West Africa. It wasn't just because you wanted to nominate a king and queen. It has significance, right? Those are all clues from stuff that we did right here. And we just wipe it out like, okay, well, let me just go centuries past that because we just happened to be slaves here under oppression, so we didn't have nothing. And I think that's a mistake on our part. Then it shows the continuum when you can make that link. Okay, we was doing all this stuff, so when you go back across to Levant, Egypt, West Africa, whatever you're trying to go, you got some type of foundation. We're going on a journey without any foundation of who we are, searching. Niggas' grandmamas got African names, and they got braided hairstyles that they got, and it's been in their family for years, or secret recipes, or the way that, you know, auntie made a certain dish, or whatever. And you don't see Africa in none of that. We forgot that the map. Those are the Illuminati clues that we need to be trying to figure out how to decipher. Forget about all the fucking pyramid and Horus eyes. Look at the culture that we got. Go to New York and go to the Caribbean Day Carnival, and you see all the stuff out there. There's so much symbolism there that we have zero idea about. Zero.
Oh, okay. Hey, let me change the subject back to Mesopotamia a little bit. But you guys don't want to, but I want to show something real quickly because I want to piss off Danny. Now this is something that's in Egypt, and that it's in a lot of countries, not only Egypt. But let's Google this list of archo-astronomical sites by country, right? And they go by the list of countries: Armenia, Canada, Colombia, China, Egypt, Finland, France, Guatemala, Indonesia, all these different sites, all of them. And then when you look at the sites, it tells you what it's matched up with and why it's considered an archo-astronomical site. So when you look at the Abu Simbel, for one, the axis of the temple was positioned by the ancient Egyptian architects in such a way that twice a year, October 20th and February 20th, the rays of the sun would penetrate the sanctuary and illuminate the sculpture of the back of the wall, except for the statue of Ptah, the god connected with the underworld, who always remained in the dark. The great pyramids of Egypt are connected, and also Nabta Playa. And by the way, for the people who are interested, a white man, Fred Wendorf, and his partner, Alan Shield, they found dated materials from Nabta Playa from 10,000 BC to 3000 BC. So if you want to know who influenced those people, you got to go and find out how they're connected, and the things that they did is connected to Sudan. There's no Mesopotamians in Sudan, man. Stop the foolishness. But what is not on this list is, even Iran is on this list. Where is Iraq? Where is Mesopotamia? Where are these people? Even in Syria, Turkey, where are these Mesopotamians building these things? Where is it at? They don't have these sites. That's my point of bringing this up. All right? And they didn't have any shoes either. Courtesy of Meru. All right. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, brother.
Well, let me just add, for all those who can't take a trip to Mesopotamia, and you can go down to D.C., and if you stand on 16th Street, you can see why all the churches and everything are there, and why the light comes down that hall, that lane right there, and it was set up by an African black man right in America, and his name was Benjamin Banner. And if you're interested, you can go to the Egypt on the Potomac trip with Anthony Browder, and you can find out for yourself. So you don't have to go to Mesopotamia or anywhere else to see that. You can go down to D.C. and walk on 16th Street, and now you see why all those Masonic and church buildings are on that strip right there.
All right, no problem. Send off to that. All right. What else you working on, man? What else you working on, brother? Let us know what you're working on. Otherwise, I know you're working on some powerful information, and you know, and I want everybody to check out our video, The Return of the Autodidacts, with Danny, Dr. Ethan, Brother Garfield. Check that video out on Dagger Squad, and I'm gonna upload this. Yeah, check that Return of the Autodidacts, because we taking over. I just want everybody to know. You know, somebody tagged him to my timeline yesterday when I asked a question about Marcus Garvey on the color of the flag. He responded. What did he respond to? He responded and said something. He said Hubert Harrison gave alternative colors. See scholarship by Jeffrey P. Perry's Hubert Harrison, When Africa Awakes. He never answered the question. He just suggested that we do. You know, ain't nobody got time to be running. You see, this is what Lex was hoping. Lex was hoping that nobody would investigate his book. And I think I find, you know what I find too a lot in scholarship, man, especially white scholarship, a lot of people doing what Lex is doing. A lot of people. So that's not to be that we're picking on Lex. It's just that it is our community, but a lot of people are doing what he's doing. They're documenting stuff, and then when you check, and y'all, I'm telling you, y'all think I'm the worst? Alan Brown is the worst when it comes to that, boy. There's something wrong with this. Me and Danny was going through Robin Walker's book. He had some references that we was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has it, but you know, sometimes the source who they refer is not really them. They refer to the source, and then the source that we refer to don't have the information properly, like we assume.
Hey, Garfield, look in the back. Show that picture.
Uh-oh. Danny's starting trouble again. Oh, boy. I don't know if I want to show this, man.
Is that the black autodidact?
It's not Hamburglar. It's not Hamburglar. Don't worry about it.
He ain't no autodidact. You don't get that.
You don't get that special title. Every race has a flag, but the cool sponsor. Price 25 cents. Yikes.
So the reason why, one of the main reasons why Garvey created the flag or had the flag created was because of this song. This song was one of the more popular songs of the early 1910s, and it basically showed how all these other races have an identity except for the coon. And this was a very popular song. It actually caused a lot of riots and fights because Irishmen in particular used to sing this song.
Mm-hmm.
And so out of that became a real push to even have a flag created to denote this nation. So this
wow. I didn't hear that from the foremost authority, man.
This is why you know, one of the impetuses that had that flag created.
Thing like a new kind of whole food.
So you can go and you can see how that song was. And, I mean, I can't post them right now walking, but I'll show you the newspaper articles from the riots that they was having and how people used to make fun of, you know, singing this song. And then if you also read Tony Martin's book too, he'll be having some. It has, that one. He's right about that. But Tony Martin's book on what is it, Pan-African
Race First.
The one with the red cover.
The red one, Tony Martin. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That book is something you really need to dig into because it shows you a lot of Garvey's influence comes from even, you know, using universal in the title of his organization, all the stuff. People were doing that prior to Garvey, and he was influenced by a lot of those movements that were going on to formulate his. So it wasn't created in the bubble. And Tony Martin is really good at pointing out those early organizations where he borrowed or, you know, borrowed a lot of stuff from.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I'm sorry I don't have my PhD for you to take me. Let me stop it. Let me stop. I'm just joking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I had we had an interesting conversation yesterday, Mr. Danny. We were talking about identity and the identity crisis amongst the people over here. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's necessary for us to identify with a national identity to proceed forward?
I can see how it benefits, but I don't have a problem with it being one I mean, if it's other than one homogenous thing that we all call ourselves, because at this point we're diverse for a number of reasons. But I mean, I can see people's benefit, but I also don't argue with people who say that they're American. I mean, you could try to run from it, but the reality is your nation is America. You have a history and an origin that will have you connected to Senegal, Gambia, the Levant, wherever. That's cool. You know, otherwise, you know, there's no one right answer, because then what? We're going to play the name game. You're going to have somebody run up on you and say, what's your nationality? That you this. I mean, at this point, if you can articulate, I guess, why you feel you those things, then, I mean, rock with it, man. But, you know, when it comes down to that courtroom, you know, you can say what you want. I see a lot of Negroes reverting back to what's going to get their ass out. And that's that they have their rights. And they have these rights as an American citizen.
Yep, or they tell it.
Or they tell it.
Yeah.
And yes, I've seen the videos with the Moors in the courtroom with the paper hustlers. And yeah, I've seen that too. I'm talking about the majority of people, though, who get up in that court or get up in those legal situations, and they're going to try to exploit everything they can as a part of that particular legal system. Right?
Yep. When you sign your checks, or if you're working, they check that box. Yeah, man. So, I got you.
Now we got also, you know, we got all these people in the historical record who were African. We always claim that they was the kings of Scotland and all these other places or whatever. And, you know, are they not still African? Yeah, they were Scotland or Scottish, but, you know, that's what they were. And so look at Juan Latino. He's from Grenada. He was African, though. We got Matthew da Costa, like I said. He is the reason that you have Canada. He's from Benin. If he said he was Canadian, shit, who gonna argue with him? I get it. Like I say, I get why people do it and this whole identity thing, but this whole one identity for all thing is, I don't see that ever coming, you know, to fruition. It's like the thing we walked down the street. I was like, "Oh, what's up, black man?" "Oh, I'm not black." I mean, come on, man. It's the energy. Ain't nobody trying to disrespect you. You can see if it's disrespectful to you. You know?
Yeah.
Somebody say something happens. Somebody say amen. Yo, I ain't no Christian. Like, oh, come on, man. Just say amen. Say it and keep it moving. Everything, I think we start or we cause unnecessary contention sometimes, just for the sake of you know, ear hustling and jaw jabbing. You know, look what I know. Smarty art niggas, as we call them. I mean, you know, Garfield changed up where he is every week. 1 week he a Moore, next week he a Car, next week he Kemite. I mean, shit. That nigga's a convenient Negro. Whoever is hot right now. Yo, the Ashanti's is hot this week. Yeah,
Yo, it seemed like me talking about the Rasta has brought a lot of jealousy, man. Baba TV does call me. I don't want to air people out on the ear, man. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, today I was it's not complete the way I want it to be, but I did present today very well, especially explaining to people the youth black faith. What a lot of people don't realize is one of the major influences on Rasta right now. You have the Baba Shanti with Prince Emmanuel I, and who is considered to be God in person by some, are called God, or you know what I'm saying. So a lot of people weren't aware of this. They weren't aware of the culture of what they do and how they live amongst themselves and so forth. So, and a lot of people don't realize the Maroons, again, let me say it, They are independent of the government of Jamaica, from the British, from the Jamaican government, from everybody. They live on their own. And so people need to understand that living in an abandoned town is a reality. That's why I always say, the last resort, I'm going to run to Trelawney where my land is and live there. Build my house over there. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. But anyway, we need to understand a lot that's going on. And you know, with Zan, let me just add something else to Zanlex's book. Zanlex's book is a plagiarized document that he put out. You ever try to put out a mix CD that has all samples and try to put it out officially? This is why mixtapes are not records, because it's full of samples and taking people's information. So people don't want the samples that they stole to be say, hey, you know what? I got a mixtape out, but the mixtape is full of samples. You can't release it as a record. That's why. So the same thing with Zanlex's book. Zanlex's book is like a mixtape. It shouldn't be released.
Well, you going?
So ancient Kemetic trial and meticulous look at the true origin of Kemetic culture is full of farce, full of misinformation, and it needs to be thrown in the garbage. That's my opinion.
Nah, I want you tell the poop.
I should call mute your mic, Danny. Yeah. We and by the way, Monica, how's it going, by the way, man? How you going, sister? You here hanging out with us today, Sunday? How's it going with you, sis?
Let's see, I'm almost in Mississippi. Y'all keep talking.
Okay. And by the way, assalamu alaikum, man, because today is Savior's Day for the Nation of Islam. I know you love Farrakhan and everything, so I just want to say that.
I don't even know anything about the Nation of Islam.
The Nation of Islam, today is Savior's Day. Happy Savior's Day to all the Nation of Islam people. The day that the birth of Master Farad Muhammad. Shout out to my brother Raw Bond in the building. He knows what we're talking about. Today is Savior's Day in Detroit. Minister Lou, the Honorable, let me not leave that out. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is speaking today in Detroit. And we need to show some love, man. Show some love. Big up to Detroit. They need some inspiration right now. Happy Savior's Day, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I was saying about Baba TV a while ago. Shout out to Baba TV for having me on. We had like 120 people watching live at one point. It was some good information. A lot of people. I left out the Morant Bay Rebellion, which I shouldn't have. But next week, I'm going to talk about where a lot of the things in the Rasta rituals come from. I'm going to talk about that. And then the next week, the fourth part, I'm going to touch on Haile Selassie and his discord with Marcus Garvey, and why a lot of people have some good things to say about Haile Selassie, but they also have some bad things to say about Haile Selassie. I don't sugarcoat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know my view. Haile Selassie is a man just like me and you. And if he really, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather be a Rasta religious-wise than anybody else because of Haile Selassie being in the close to us as far as, 1960s, 70s, whatever, 30s. But to believe something 2,500, 3,000 years ago and hold to it now and don't even have a connection to it biologically, I just think is ridiculous. Haile Selassie claimed basically that he was related to David and Solomon through bloodline. If you want to believe that, fine. I didn't, and I don't. But I'm just saying, hey, I'd rather believe that than something from 3,000 years ago. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Alan, you was building on what you was building on again, brother. Go ahead, brother. Talk about what you was building on.
David said he was white. Said he took a bath one day and he came out white. How's he related to Haile Selassie?
Haile Selassie is also close to saying that he is of that.
He was pretty light, but he wasn't necessarily white. He's just confused. We'll settle for that. You believe people in the Bible, and you're related to those, are you?
Yeah. I was reading something about Khufu's pyramid, man. They said that the shafts remain a mystery because they're so highly complex.
Okay.
Khufu's pyramid. What if oh snap, look what just popped up on my screen. 10 types of plagiarism. I guess they knew I was talking about
Question is
John
like
Lexx today.
kind of like Danny's. What made you so sure that Khufu built that pyramid? There's no inscriptions in it.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's called Khufu's pyramid. So
They call it, but why?
I don't know.
I don't think you
But
can't find me.
bear in mind though, Khufu's name is not on it, right? He's not on it, right?
No.
Okay, interesting.
No inscriptions whatsoever in the great. You're talking about the Great Pyramid. We're not talking about the minor pyramids that surround in that courtyard.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Menkaure and Khafre. And see, now are you trying to get me to divulge the information that we've been researching recently? No, I'm not doing that. I'm saving that. I'm saving that. Danny. Yeah, because we're gonna have to trance a couple people in their ears for hiding this for so long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even looking over Robert Schoch's work as far as the Great Pyramid of Giza, and I'm looking at Robert Reval's work, and I'm thinking about the big structure, because Robert Reval has a whole theory of the star people and whatever, and the reason why he even thinks about calling them the star people, one of the reasons because of the connections to the buildings and the stars. So this is why I wanted to bring up Robin Walker's work, because Robin Walker talks about this in his book, not the one that we always talk about. His next book, he has some books that he wrote where he talks about. Hold on, this is when he ruled. Hold on, let me tell you what he talked about real quickly here. Did I get into it? Robin Walker.
I have to give a shout out to MBK. I have to give a shout out to MBK. Please go to the MBK Facebook group. I know many people are part of it. I think it's up to 17,000 members. And the MBK YouTube channel. Shameless plug, as you were. Thank you.
Shameless plug, as you were.
I'm trying to find this work, but
we're just doing shout outs, Danny.
I can't find it. I just can't find it. Where is it at?
Yeah, they blowing me up saying I didn't stay, so I gotta make sure I get that out. So.
They ain't got nothing better to do, man.
I have issues.
All right, cool. You know what? I'll leave this for another time. But what I was gonna say is that we have to be very, 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 very careful when we talk about Egypt, because a lot of people, they make up their own thing. They make up this, they make up that. You know, we did this, we did that. But I'm telling you, looking at Robert Reval's work, because he's a little nut job too, but he has some good work when it comes to Egypt.
He's a nut job.
Yeah, but he has some good work when it comes to Egypt, and he does have the guy Robert Schoch, who is a geologist, who has not yet been challenged. Even the consensus is that he's correct that the Giza pyramid could be dated back over to a 10,000 or go way back to like
500 BC.
5,000 BC. You could say, hey, that's
time of a star, all that stuff that they wrote in their book. That what they're backing off of it now.
No, they're not.
I'm not going to change my mind. Astrology that is in alignment with all those superstructures is like, come on, bro. It's a little too amazing to just bat an eye at.
Yeah. Robin Walker did some real good work on it. Real good work, and
lying, and you calling the man that ain't lying crazy. He's showing you all of it. And not just here, not just in Africa, but all over the planet.
Yeah, that's, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Just not in Europe. Oh, my stars. Maybe that's what the uproar is all about, huh, Garfield? You found it over here in, what's the name of the place in Cambodia? Angkor Wat, with the 76 temples that represent the constellation Draco. You found it on Easter Island, in South America. Found it in Africa. Okay, all these Neolithic cultures knew about this astronomy, but I guess you was scribbling on cave walls in England somewhere. Stars. I think it was. So I got you upset. There may be some cultures on this planet been doing this for like who knows how many thousands of years, right? At least since 10,500 BC, which is reasonable. I mean, looking at all the stuff that we know, because we see like 3,000 years later, we have evidence of astronomical calculations that have to apply. And you said that came out of inner Africa. Yeah. That obviously came from the south.
Yeah, this is
monuments like that in Ethiopia. There's a website that you might want to check out. It's called African Stonehenges. I seen it a long time ago. There's not just one, there's many. There's some in South Africa, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what Brother Ank shut up, MBK. I always plug y'all Negroes, man. You know, but
shout out condolences to Brother Ank's mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we never did give our condolences.
Yeah, actually we didn't know. Actually we did, but that show, remember I played all the music for him. He wasn't on that show. That I couldn't put that show up. There's too much music on there.
We gave him a shout out before.
Yeah, definitely did.
Bro, that's big one there. The biggest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it puts us in a position.
Yeah, I can't relate, fortunately.
Yeah, I could relate because I lost my parents back to back, so that was kind of hard. You know,
my father's passed, but my mother's still living.
Yeah, my mother and father passed back to back years, same month, almost the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a hard time for me. So, yeah. So when I talked to him, he was like, "Wow." You know, sometimes you have to share your pain with people while they're going through their pain to let them know that other people had that pain too. You know?
Yeah, man. Talk on that one.
Shout out to the big brother Ank, man, and just to let everybody know that they reported his channel and everything, but shut down the Amin Ra Squad channel with all that good work that he had over there and research. And you know what, man? That's just straight up evil, but hey, you gotta fight fire with fire, family. You gotta fight fire with fire. You know, so I'm just gonna let me see. What time is it? 12:38. I did want to touch on the Falcon tribe a little bit, but your mic was off Meru. I don't know if you want to touch on the Falcon tribe a little bit before we go.
Oh, the Falcon tribe's dead. You can't tell the difference between a falcon and a hawk. And I guess they kind of made this stuff up as they went along. You know, didn't translate the glyphs properly. And assumed that, what was the city? Nekan? Dedicated to a falcon. We found out it's just the opposite. It's a hawk.
So you mean to tell me that giant Lexx is putting out false information about Nekan?
Yes. I mean, you wouldn't have to go any further than a Wikipedia search. I mean, that's what's so amazing about these claims that he makes. You know, he'll publicly claim he's the Kemetic Undertaker and all the Gilgamesh epics and the Aluma Elish and it predates your oldest writing, 2700 BC. I go to Wikipedia and say 2100. Tell me the Aluma Elish was found in what? Mars Temple, 1100 BC or something. I mean, I'm just doing this off of memory, but I don't know how he gets past with all this stuff, or these guys just ain't acquainted with the information that he's spewing. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. A lot of people.
Yeah, guys ain't all interested in all that Gilgamesh crap and all that. You know. and at the same time keep a straight face, because you know you're saying, okay, yeah, you didn't plagiarize it from Kemet, but yeah, we stole it from over here in Babylon. So the Noah flood story really is stolen from over here, but we rather have it anywhere except from Africa.
Yeah, definitely. We got to do better. We got to do better, man. And we got to stop being partial too. That's another thing. We got to stop being partial with the bullshit. If somebody is lying and they come out, you need to tell it. You see, I'm Lexx's best friend, because I'm telling him basically, nigga, you plagiarize and you're gonna get exposed. So if you feel within your heart that you're his friend and not telling him this, because all the people who he used to rock with or people he does rock with are telling me, yo, you right, yo, he the type of person that do be lying on this shit. Other Hebrews are inboxing me and telling me this. You know what I'm saying? I had this other brother told me that, yeah, he got an idea where he got all the stuff from, and he picked up on it when he saw the book. But he tried to capitalize on Kemet on trial and sell the book like he was bringing some mastery information, and nobody has confronted him. The only person that confronted him was Sanjeti when he said, you bring me a text that predates this. And when we brought the text up on stage, he said, oh, but this is in English. And it wasn't in English. The text wasn't even in English, but he told the crowd that. Just because he got beat in the head. And on that day, what's his name told him, Sanjeti said, get Robin Walker's book. We tell you about the chronology. They tell you why it changed to 3100. They tell you why they're trying to keep that date. They tell you how everything changed and everything. He broke it all down. But no, I don't want to listen to Sanjeti because I know everything. And if I do listen to Sanjeti, it messes up my whole scam that I'm trying to pull on the people. That's all it is, a scam. I'm ready though. So I'm going to hit up Sanjeti right now in like 15 minutes and tell him if Lexx want to go live, we could go live on a Google Hangout today.
I don't think it was his fault. He got caught up in that we're all going to team up and we're the Hebrew war machine and we're going to poop on Africa and Kemet. You know what I mean? He got caught up. He was like the last part of the wave, you dig? Mm-hmm. And one of the few that didn't get like by Polite and SETI or whoever was out there slinging, you know. So I guess he had to throw his little weight up in there, and I saw him on the Kemetic War Conference. He got booed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he titled the video, he like assassinated him or something. I forget what it's called, but he, you know, I was like, man, this guy's ego's out of control. You get your butt whooped, and then you claim victory. That's a new one. Yeah, because you people ain't going for that bogus information. I mean, they let a couple things slide. You know, it kind of amazed me. I was like, you brothers ain't on that.
Yeah. Get
away with that. Plus, how you let him not stick to his own Bible? Hebrew, nigga, you got the history of the world, the first man, don't you?
Yep.
Oh, this is correct, boy. Cush over here in Mesopotamia. Go ahead, Cush. Got Nimrod building towers all the way up to heaven. Yeah, go ahead, boy. That's a tower there. Huh? There. There's no oxygen in the ionosphere. God got scared, had to come down here personally, didn't he? Confused all the languages. That's the story, Garvey. Come on, we rocking here. God got scared because Nimrod was building this tower. It was almost going to reach heaven where God was at, so he had to come down here personally. So, oh, yeah, if we keep letting them do this, there's nothing man won't be able to do, so we got to confuse all his language. By tomorrow, he won't even know what this tower is for, or he won't be able to tell nobody else.
Mm-hmm. And me and LaRon got into it last night about David Roll too. I said to him, I bet you wouldn't invite Emily Teeter or Christopher Woods from on your channel. And I said to him, he blocked me. And the reason why he unfriended me as a friend, because I brought up an article that killed this whole chronology argument, which is how can we have information when the Hittite king gives Ramesses his daughters as tribute, right? Ramesses II. And we said it's around 1297. I think I said 1279 BC. I said Ramesses II was
Okay.
around 1279 to 1213. I said if my memory is right, it was around that time period, right? And I want the audience in the chat to tell me if I'm wrong. He said to me, "What is 1279 BC?" Right? And he said, "Oh, we don't have nothing called no BC dates, and those dates are wrong." And I said, he said that he came back a minute later and said 664 BC is an absolute date given by David Roll. So you're using a BC date when you told me I can't use a BC date, but David Roll, this cracker, I told him to take the cracker's dick out his mouth. Because how is it that you're going to use a BC date? And I said, this is how you debunk him. We know that the Hittites gave their daughters to Ramesses. It's on record. We know the Assyrians had connections or letters written to the same Hittite king. So if they are written in the same time period, that means this is contemporary information to prove when Ramesses II lived. All you got to do is trace from his 664 date and use the king's list and count how many years they ruled up until you reach to the king that connected with Ramesses. I said, it's not hard work. It's like us saying, when did Franklin Delano Roosevelt live? We don't have to use 1942. All we got to do is trace. I said, how many years did Obama rule? 8 years. So that's how you count. You ain't got to say 2004, 2008, 2012. You ain't got to say none of that. All you got to say is how many years the king ruled from now. So you said Obama ruled 8 years, minus 8 years. Bush ruled 8 years, minus 8 years. Clinton ruled 8 years, minus 8 years. Then Bush for 4, Reagan for 8, Carter for 4, then 4, then Nixon 8, and then you just count it backwards. You reach President Kennedy, go back to Eisenhower, and then you go back. It is not rocket science. So now he's there screaming. I'm telling him that David Roll is way off, bro. I said I was invited to a conference in Canada. I mean, like, you know, as an email saying that the conference is going on. I could go if I want to. I said David Roll can't even get like an email invite, because he has been blocked out of all of Egyptology. Nobody in his field. Yo, even Kansu agreed with me, bro. Kansu killed him. Kansu came on and said, yo, I got to support Garfield in this one, man. When you're not even recognized in the field of study, something is wrong. When you're not recognized as an Egyptologist, something is wrong. And he's not recognized. So why should I take his word for anything? David Roll, and I said out and open, I can't wait to debate him. I can't wait. I can't wait. That's all I got to say, man. Assyrian Archives 14410 kills David Roll argument. How you gonna move? How you gonna say Shashank the first is Ramesses II? Which idiot is gonna believe that? Which idiot? Oh boy, I tell you.
You want to relate it to some Bible guy named Shishak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your stuff still ain't right.
Oh, boy,
so you're making guesswork right from the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to. That's the whole purpose. When the bottom line is the Bible, and you're trying to correlate it to something in the Bible, then we got a problem. Because Solomon's temple and King Solomon and Shishak and okay, what's Solomon's daughter's name? Because I didn't hear about them Egyptian kings giving their daughters away to no Jews. And Solomon has the Pharaoh's daughter. That's a wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
I can't get that. Can we ask David that question? See, I'd never let them get away from sticking to what their own narrative has to say, Garfield. And that's where they run into problems. Okay, because you're not going to make that. Now, I'm going to have to bring up, there was a so-called Pharaoh at the exact same time this Jew was supposed to have lived named Solomon. Solomon. Strange. This is one those could be's.
Yeah, I think people got to recognize that.
Good.
People got to recognize, for one, the Egyptians were a black African people, and they came from out of Africa. They came from the south. Look at the DNA evidence; it tells you where they came from, the south. And this is what Dr. Ben taught. They came from the north, from Nubia. And if you don't want to follow what the ancestors taught us, that's on you. Make up your own stuff, but come with information that's legitimate. Not, you know how some people are. They just want to go against the grain. I'm always like that. I love going against the grain. But where are we're gonna put all of this to rest and stop the foolishness? Stop it. You know, and we need to end that. You know what? I need to show something run real quickly here. And this is from Zion Lexx's book on page 44. I'm going to show you guys something real quickly here. I think I showed last week. John Croft, this cracker here. I'm going to share the screen. Let's share the screen. And Meru knows where I'm going. I think Meru was the one that found this. John D. Croft. This is the gentleman here, right? He's from Canada. He has a couple of charts and everything that he built up. And he basically is a white man, as we can see, working as a professional consultant in the field of ecological, sustainable community economic development based in Europe and all that stuff. So now, this chart, where's this chart? Let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
I do vaguely remember this name. Why was I researching this guy?
You're gonna see right now.
I forget. You know me, I'm old.
No, you ain't old.
Yeah.
Let me load this up a little bit. Yeah. So this says my own work, feel free to use it, John D. Craft. There's nothing wrong with using it, but who said it was the 42 gods of the Anunnaki? Who said that? You made that up. Or you stole it off the internet with that on it. And then talk about it like it's some superior list that you have. Like you have information that teaches us and you're the best. You know, come on, man. If you count this, you get more than 42, as a matter of fact. So you didn't even count it.
Right.
You can't even count.
There's more than the 42 laws of Ma'at.
42 laws of Ma'at and all this garbage.
42 gnomes of Egypt. And that's where it came from. You can't count.
This is just ridiculous. Ridiculous one by one. Oh boy, I tell you.
This is silly stuff where you thought nobody was going to check you.
Yeah, right here. It's right here. You right here? The wiki page on Mesopotamia. See? I got it right here. We need to stop this, man. We need to kick this nonsense out of the community. He said if I prove plagiarism, I'm gonna leave. I think he'll leave if we show. I think he will. This is
Did you show the swastikas on the front of L.A. Waddell's books?
No, I didn't even show it.
Yeah, you should have showed him that, Garfield. You're using this Nazi stuff because you don't want to be African.
Yep.
We got Sumerian.
Here we go again. Here we go.
One more. No pictures of those Sumerians, do you?
Here we go. Where's the scorpion?
You don't want to see no pictures of him.
There's a scorpion man from his book right here. On the right hand corner.
You took that from Gaston Maspero. That didn't even come from Waddell. That's from Gaston Maspero. I remember that one.
Going around teaching about the King Alfred plan. It's related to gematria and all this foolishness. John D. Croft. That's where you got it from, brother.
There's old guys out here.
King Alfred plan, for those who know though, was a fictional CIA-led scheme supporting an international effort to eliminate people of African descent. The plan first appeared in John A. Williams' 1967 novel, The Man Who Cried I Am, an account of his life and death of Richard Wright. Is in the afterword to later editions. Williams compared the King Alfred plan to intelligence program devised by J. Edgar Hoover in the 1960s. Monitor the movements of black military. Also bears similarities to rumors in the early 1950s surrounding the McCarran Act and anti-communist law. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, the King Alfred plan was a fictional CIA. So if it's fictional and it's fake, how could God predict a fictional and a fake plan? You see how you kill these dudes, man, with their stupidity? And I know you watching, Zion. You just dumb for this. Real stupid. You just scroll up some more, man. This is just dumb. So dumb.
Yeah, had some young fella earlier this week coming over to my page on YouTube. I'm so against the black people. I'm supporting the King Alfred's plan. So I quoted that very wiki article. I don't see no black people in no FEMA camps yet, brother. I want to update, you dig? You know. And then he told me he knew that it was a fictional plan. You know, it was bogus, but in every post.
Oh boy! All right, hey, peace
the
and
King
blessings,
Alfred
everybody.
plan.
Let me get out of here. And
Wow.
MBK said, forgot that we got in trouble for pulling out that calculator that day.
Oh, he remembers the calculator?
Damn.
They didn't like the calculator. You know, you actually start counting numbers and stuff. That's not good. You know, people living 969 years and stuff. Didn't have no babies till they was 125, and I don't know what the hell's the matter with them Hebrews. Well, there wasn't one of them that didn't wait till he was at least a senior citizen to have a kid.
That's crazy.
Guys in the Bible, they were at least 65 years old before they had a baby. Heck with that, man. I did that one. I was just getting out. Let's go. I wanted to still be able to play ball. Okay. What are you going to tell your son? Go catch my teeth. That's a good catch, honey. Now bring him over to your dad. Run fast. Yahweh bless you. 65 and just had my son. He running around here? No, I'm not feeling that, Garfield. That's a young man sport.
Wow. All right, man. I'm going to call it a day. It's 2 minutes to 1. I'm just going to say peace and love to everybody out there. And shout out to Zion Lexx, because we're killing kind of right now. So don't you ever run away.
On deck.
He's playing this video that I made 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I made a song. The song is about premature ejaculation.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
So the song says, for all the assholes out there who don't understand Jamaican, the song says, slow it down if you wanna last. Last time you walk it, boy, you come too fast. She said, zip it down and drop your pants. Broke too quick, you never get another chance. She said, slow it down. What I'm saying is basically this. It's a story.
Slow down.
So the ladies are saying, you have sex too fast. You come too quick. So you need to slow it down if you want to last. The last time you walk it, you come too fast. Zip it down and drop your pants. Broke too quick. Broke too quick is Jamaican for you come too quick. So when they say broke too quick, you never get another. How many women when they were young said that if we have sex with a dude and he come in less than 2 minutes, I ain't gonna give him no more? And that's all the song is talking about. I get kind of graphic in the second verse. I'm telling a story about this guy named Trevor and how when he came too quick, he had to end up giving the lady oral sex. So Zion Lexx, and to all the haters out there, F y'all. I don't give a F what y'all say. talking about if I'm gay. These are songs from 12 years ago. I have a natural singing voice. I'm nice like that. Not because you ain't got no talent. You're trying to put up videos. So now he's trying to put up the video saying Garfield is gay to think I'm going to stop coming at him. But bruh, you pseudo. And I'm going to expose pseudos. When I exposed Ishmael Bey, his career was over. You remember what I did to Ishmael Bey?
Huh? You know I'm gay? Do all my children know I'm gay?
Exactly. So, you know, we don't respond to foolishness, man. But we're going to deal with this ancient Kemenon child. Part 3. We're going to deal with part 4. All right, cool. All right, I got clients texting me about making.
All right, brother.
Monica, what do you got going on? Hey, Monica, hold up, Monica. Let me show you the black card. The black card came in the mail. Let me show you the black card.
Let me see, cause I know somebody out there.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you right now.
All right.
Black card came in the mail, family. See right here?
Oh, good.
Black American Express card. Look at that.
They say it's beautiful.
It comes in a box. And then you get the welcome from the president. You remember when the idiot was talking about who the president is? Who that is?
Yeah.
Who that is, Meru? That's a black man, Troy Mason. See? Troy Mason. Talking about a white man. Troy Mason, yeah. And this is the booklet, and you got a lot of packages and everything. This is really official, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take the card out of my wallet so y'all could see it. Oops. Making a mess. Hold on, where's my wallet? Hold on, let me find my wallet. Okay, I got it. Let me show y'all. Take out all my cards. Right here.
Nice.
This is nice.
How long did it take to come in?
They had some trouble. So I mean, after all the trouble, I guess.
Yeah. I think they're back online now.
Yeah. So that's why everybody know that the black card came. It's a black-owned company. You need to sign up for one of the plans. One of these plans, get it, and do what y'all need to do. Y'all know I ain't supporting no BS already, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So get that black card, Z black card, go on my website. And by the way, anybody that signs up with Monica, or Cheryl or any one of us, I'm giving them a free $5,000 trade line to put on their credit. All right?
Oh, wow.
So anybody signs up, I'm looking out for the family, man. I'm looking out for the people. Miss Yum Yum, you funny. She said no 2-minute brothers allowed. You see, that's what the song is about. I should play it too, man. Do I have that song? I don't even know if I got it. Damn.
Nasty, man. Shaba.
Oh, it's a video. Damn, I don't want to play no YouTube and mess up this channel either. But the song goes like this. Slow it down if you want to last. Last time you walk it, boy, you come too fast. She said, zip it down and drop your pants. Broke too quick, you never get another chance. Psst, give me your name and your number. Can't let you leave with a fat piece of bumper. Psst, let me holler for a minute. Sooner or later, I'ma be all up in it. She a give me back shot, the room start spin. Links want to come, but me can't make her win. She turn on the socket. She turn on the suction, the leakage begin. Can't, what me do? I don't remember the words. But anyway, slow it down. So the second verse is like, Trevor invite me round a gal farm. When me check it out, the boy can't perform. Trevor no eat pork, but him eat porky. If you think I lie, ask him girl Tracy. Call in Denise, him take her on a date. Call up Trevor, the boy take the bait. Him come too quick, him can't even wait. Turn Denny's coochie in a dinner plate, so him slow it down if you wanna. Those were the days, man. I wrote that like 12 years ago. 12 years ago. So basically, you see, the song is about oral sex and premature ejaculation. But niggas just want to be assholes and try to stop this information from coming out. So nigga, try again. Niggas got talent, man. Niggas got talent. So deal with what Dagger Squad is coming with. Stop being a girl. And I'll meet you anywhere and discuss this with you. You could run around and say Garfield's hiding, running. Remember this though, Zion. I invited you on Facebook, remember? To come on my radio show, Blog Talk Show. You ran from that. You didn't show up. We went on Basim's show, and I've showed the picture and asked for evidence. You ran from that. I went on Kalam's show when you called me pussy and all this stuff. I didn't even know you called me all those names. But when I came on the show, we started talking about information. You ran again. So every time I confront you on this issue, you always run. Now, Sarnetta called me and said that Ali Muhammad and you would love to have a sit down. I showed up. Ali never showed up for the third time. Ali Muhammad was supposed to sit with me 3 times. He didn't, but he has personal problems. So I accept that. But you never showed up. So that's 4 times you never showed up. The 5th time, I was in South Carolina with Monica. My flight landed 11 o'clock. We raced into the airport, got there, made sure I was on my flight. Boom. Got to New York 11 o'clock, got off the plane. The 5th time, you didn't show up. So 5 instances where you are running. So that's why when you go in my group, Hebrew Israelite versus Kemetic, you'll see the Lion Lexx running, doing the running man. The poster by my brother Meru. I said, courtesy of brother Meru, the running, Lion Lexx running, the running man. So ladies and gentlemen, Garfield is not running from that guy. He's just a liar. And what happened is I'm exposing the lies. Remember when he went on talk with the Titans and exposed Polite for following Dr. York, even doing his hands like his teacher? So you are following L.A. Waddell, right? You're following Petrie, right? You're following Crichton and all these other people. Listen, brother, you're pseudo as hell. And anytime you come and talk about Sumer predates Egypt, we're going to murder that information. Peace. Any last word from Meru and Monica? Close us out.
I want that song.
Last night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. Do the running man, do the running man, do the running man. That's what I want to hear. I want to
Hey, Sean P, you know he got to hate. That's my brother. I love him, man. Shout out to Daniel. He talking about stop singing. He talking about stop singing.
What's up?
Hey, I got a talent, man. My talent lives through my daughter, man. She's a talented sister, man. So she's taking on the lead right now. I'm done with that stuff. But peace and love to everybody that's out there. And thanks for the love, man. And shout out to Baba TV, man. I'll be on next week to talk about the Rasta. Yeah, Rasta. We be on part 3 and part 4.
Peace, fam.
All right. So, Danny, we closing out right now. Any last words, brother?
Read more, talk less.
Yeah.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace out.
All right. Thank you, family. All right.
Bye.